And, of course, there's the man who's got everyone talking, Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage.
Yes, that's right, I am doing a video at Nigel Farage and some of the comments that he's been saying in the jungle and how he's being held account. If you're unaware of who he is an ex-politician. Not quite in the same description as what has been said in I'm a Celebrity.
And then Nigel, do you know who Nigel is? Who? Nigel.
I don't think was the...
She's a food critic. And then Nigel's an M.
Oh, Josie.
No, Nige is like an MP.
Matt Pratt, was it?
He's an ex-politician.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is different.
Yes, clearly she didn't have a clue as to who he was. I think she might have even been mixing him up with Nigella Lawson.
Nigel's not just known for his controversial political career, he's also got his own show on GB News.
Now, of course, he will be presenting that show over the next 3 weeks, so we'd like to take this opportunity to apologise to all of GB News' viewers.
Sorry, Keith. Sorry, Linda.
As entertaining as that might be for some, what I'm really going to focus on is Fred. Fred is a restaurateur and a bit of a celeb on TV, and he does go and try and hold Nigel to account, and I'm going to repeat and dissect what was said by Nigel.
So if you were an average person from Britain, what's the benefit for them?
To know that we're independent, we stand on our own 2 feet in the world.
Except we're not independent. We're reliant on other countries making up the UK, essentially making us a mini EU but more authoritarian. Scotland isn't independent, it wanted to remain and was forced out. Same with Northern Ireland, and they're still under the jurisdiction of the ECJ, and there's not much that we can do to rectify that because no one wants a hard border on the island of Ireland. And not forgetting some of the Caribbean islands that have now had enforced borders put on them, but they weren't allowed to vote on Brexit. And let's not forget Gibraltar, who voted 95% to remain. But note what he didn't say. He didn't reel off this huge list of benefits, such as hospitals. We were promised reduced waiting times, but instead they've gone up, and in part it's because of EU citizens leaving the UK. Our school system has gotten worse, not better. Prices haven't gone down, they've gone up.
We cut the cost of food, clothing and footwear. The price of food, of clothing, of footwear. Cheaper food, clothing and footwear, which we will get when we are free to set our own economic policies. If we could have cheaper food, clothing and footwear straight away.
Have cheaper food, cheaper shoes, cheaper bras.
We can give people cheaper food, cheaper bras, cheaper shoes. It's a massive opportunity.
So you say.
Housing's more expensive, and government's less accountable, and we can't remove them. If they don't turn up, if they don't respond to us, if they ignore us, there's nothing you can do until the next election. Farming, damaged. Fishing, worst off. And our steel plants are closing. He didn't list any one of those things. Yet everything I just showed you was from a Leave EU advert campaign, which was connected to Nigel.
The thing is the intolerance that came.
Here from the BBC are statistics showing the level of hate crime having gone up since 2016, and it's almost tripled.
Because Brexit was about immigration. And I remember your poster, which I thought it was shameful what you did, Nigel.
This is the poster that Fred's referring to. It's called Breaking Point. And it's pretty horrific, it's inaccurate. These are Syrian refugees coming from a war zone. But of course Nigel used that in his campaign. What you're starting to see coming in at the bottom of the screen is an image from a Nazi film talking about all these refugees coming into Europe and how they're all vermin. Take note of how similar it is in terms of an image.
Sadly, it was absolutely true.
So what he's saying is that even though they Brexited, it didn't work and didn't stop anything. And of course that means that there was no point to Brexit. Even the basic advantages or things that Nigel actually campaigned for, none of which have come true.
What was the poster, sorry? Can I just cut in? Can you educate
It was
us
a
little bit
poster
more,
just
please?
showing mass young men moving illegally across borders.
But it was about demonising migrants.
And saying that was wrong.
No, it wasn't.
And yet here's some evidence from James O'Brien showing that it was about migration.
What the caller asked you was why so many people think you're racist.
Yeah, well, I think, yes, we've had our idiots.
And part of the answer would be you talk about children who can't speak English as a first language without mentioning it includes includes your own children.
I mean, what is racism? Is racism between races? I mean, I was talking about.
Don't you know?
I was talking.
How can you say you're not something if you don't know what it is?
I mean, is race about colour? Is race about race, or is it about nationality? You know, I made a comment there that wasn't intended to say any more that I felt uncomfortable about the rate and pace of change and numbers of people.
No, you felt uncomfortable about people speaking foreign languages,
yes,
despite the fact that presumably your own wife does when she phones home to Germany.
Yeah, I don't suppose she speaks it on a train, you know.
That would include Wales, what he just said. So has he got a problem with Welsh, Gaelic, Scots, Cornish? All of this comes back to the bigger point I was making about this is a mini EU, and he doesn't seem to understand that.
Why not? Is she not allowed to? Can't she speak German wherever she wants? And what about the line about not wanting to live next door to Romanians? It's perfectly acceptable for people not to.
I was asked if a group of Romanian men moved in next door to you, would you be concerned?
What about if a group of German children did? What's the difference?
The difference, and you know what the difference is.
No, I honestly...
Maybe in your view it was, but it wasn't.
Well, it's not only just my view.
Well, I knew it wouldn't take long. I knew politics would rear its head, as indeed it did. And, you know, Fred feels very strongly about it.
As usual, a patronising tone, because obviously Nigel is always right about everything. Anyone who disagrees is wrong.
Brexit has been a big problem because of the red tape. Everything has gone up. Because 50% of our product come from Europe, because we can't grow all our food here.
We can buy food now from all over the world.
We could already buy from all over the world. The problem is, if you order from South Africa, for example, it means that you've got to take it all the way from the south of Africa to Europe. And that takes days, which means that that food does not last as long as it would do if you just got it from Europe, and it adds cost. But also note, he doesn't apologise to Fred for any inconvenience that he may have caused.
Costed the country a lot of money. You're responsible for that.
World.
Nigel, you're responsible for that.
Less
I mean, partly responsible, not 100% responsible, just partly responsible.
Well, when you've helped lead a campaign that's utterly wrecked the country, divided the country, and have provided no solutions to fix that divide, all those lies that you purported tends to come up in conversation.
Something different in life, isn't it? It's an adventure. It's a challenge. It's not going to be easy, but why not?
It can't be worse than Brexit.
Oh, God.
Will you be boycotting? Probably should. This is pretty trash TV. And unfortunately for us, we're having to watch Nigel spout a lot of crap on television about why Brexit is still working when everyone can see it isn't. Once again, thank you to all of my supporters. You keep this channel going and growing. If you'd like to help out for free, just click that like and subscribe button, but also hit that notification button. It makes a huge difference to the channel's growth.